The never-ending quest for the perfect selfie. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever posted a selfie a while back? Just one single selfie, but you just know that you had to take about 200 before you can pick like one perfect selfie, right? We are in that era now, aren't we? Social media has become a stage where even our pets have a shot at stardom. Social media is where our opinions, likes, and memes collide. It is a platform where we find out what our neighbor had for breakfast, and what the world thinks of the latest blockbuster movie and so on. It is also a platform where diverse voices can come together to reshape the future. It is a space where conversations about gender equality, inclusion, and empowerment gain momentum and drive real-world impact. So bringing together a panel discussion on influencer insights in shaping the world is our next very important guest. Life influencer and content creator, please help me welcome Madia Farouk.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys today? So let me start off with a question. Who here doesn't have a social media account? Do we have people here? Social media or internet is a part of our everyday lives, and it is a very overrated word. Everybody either loves social media or hates it. But influencing, as we all call it, today's panel discussion is about influencing, it's a very broad term. Just opening up an Instagram account or having a Facebook account doesn't actually make you an influencer. It's all these social media warriors, the time they put into creating this awesome content, along with the work that we do every day, it's what makes social media an important aspect of our lives. Today, I have 4 diverse and interesting individuals that I'd like to invite here to share their perspectives on what social media is influencing and the impactful changes they've made in our lives. Let me introduce you and welcome you, Mr. Nino Kader, Ms. Elmira Karobe, Ms. Amira Al-Jaziri, and Ms. Farah Matalka. Are you guys excited to be here today?
Yes.
Yes, very much.
Okay, I'm not going to do an introduction of yourselves, so let's do it a little bit different, right? Let me give you a moment to tell the world something that they don't know about you and something that you wish they knew.
Okay, who's going to start?
Yes. And I didn't prepare you for this
working?
question.
Yeah. So hello to everyone. Thank you for coming and thank you for this beautiful event, especially this topic, women empowerment and the influence that we might have on this global issue. Well, let's come again to the question. What was it? How do you define?
Something that they don't know about.
I think they know about me. Okay, so I'm a TV presenter. I'm an entrepreneur, a mother of two beautiful little girls that I'm trying to raise as strong girls, like to become very powerful women and to bring an impact to the world, to the social, to the global world. Yeah.
Thank you. Elmira?
Well, I'm an influencer. I mean, we have to own this title, right? It's a bit difficult to say I'm an influencer, but I love to really impact women's life and make some changes in their life in a way that they feel they can do many things. And I think
sure
there
you
is
are.
nothing that no one knows about.
Thank you, Elmira.
Hi, I'm Nino Kader. I am a strategic comms expert, originally from the US, living in Qatar now. Something that people don't know about me, I used to play the trumpet quite well, and I haven't played in a long time, and I'm thinking of doing it again, but I hope my neighbors won't mind.
Farah?
Hi, my name is Farah. So I'm a social media influencer. I don't really like this word, but what I do basically on social media is I started my platform to help fundraise for refugees back home. So I live in Jordan, and I fundraise. I use my platform to start fundraising, and it was an initiative, and now it's a foundation, and I focus on education, on empowering women and people and refugees through education. So yeah.
Thank you, Farah. So this is a general question for you guys, and you can decide who wants to answer first. So what is social media influencing, guys? We all talk about it, and there are a lot of social media influencers. But what's your take on it? What's exactly influencing on social media?
As you said, when you start, everyone can open an account and say that I'm out there and start posting. But this doesn't mean that people will follow them, they will listen to them, and they will really basically do what they're asking. You have to be relatable. This is the word. You cannot be just there posting amazing moment, just everything when it's perfect, and expect people follow you. So once you are relatable, you are an influencer.
For me, influencing is, I'm speaking on my, like what I do, it's making people believe in what you do. So for example, by being relatable and by being yourself, you're influencing those people in doing something good or in taking something from you by watching you. So I feel influencing is basically just letting people believe in your voice and in your mission and in your platform.
For me, I think the impact of social media is growing day by day, and now it's competing, like literally competing with media. And also the impact of media is growing, and not only the impact, but the strategy of media into empowering women and supporting women. For example, me, I'm a TV presenter in sports media, which used to be only men's media, you know. So today, we experience the role of women in this kind of jobs, and it's really interesting and it's really good that today we can see this equity as well.
Absolutely. Nina, what's your take on it?
Well, I think that we can use a different word for social media influencers. They're really the leaders of the youth today. You know, they are today's leaders. If they can get people to take action and get people to show up somewhere, I mean, they are leaders.
They are the ambassadors, basically, for different causes that we have. Let it be fashion, let it be the beauty industry, or even simple as women empowerment. And I would like to add men empowerment too, so though it's not spoken about. Okay, let's start with the question, guys. Let me start with Nino.
Okay.
So, Nino, you've been working both in the Western and Middle Eastern markets. Do you believe that gender bias impacts career growth for women? And do you see a perspective changing in the Middle East? And can you give us some tips on how women can overcome gender-based biases?
Sure. So yeah, I've worked in New York and Washington and Silicon Valley and corporate America and here. And there's three things I would say that are kind of similar between the two, like in meetings, for example. Interruptions are one. The women always get interrupted in meetings. And so one of the things I would recommend on that is to just come back at it again. Because men are used to doing the interrupting and being interrupted, but they then bring their point back up again. Whereas I've noticed a lot of times women just stay silent. So that's one point. Another is that in both places, it's really helpful to have someone that's in a leadership position that would be more of a mentor to you. Because you really do need someone to pull you up in an organization to help you on your journey. And then the third thing I'd say that's similar is that women don't take enough credit for their accomplishments in meetings. They just assume everyone knows all the work they did, whereas men always kind of remind you of the stuff they did. So it would be nice to see women do that more often. And then lastly is you can, I think women need to give themselves permission more to speak up. Men do that all the time. We don't really look for permission from anybody. We just do it to our chagrin or not. But I think that's something that could benefit.
No, I do agree that was because, especially coming from an Asian culture, and I think in some Middle East cultures as well, we are often asked to not speak up or say you need to respect elders, so don't give in your opinion. So I think that's something that wired in our subconscious mind, but it's great to see that coming from you. But I'd like to ask, when you said a mentor, women need to have mentors. Do you think it's preferable to have a female mentor or a male mentor?
Well, it would be less awkward if it was a female mentor. In the U.S., it's not that strange for a woman to have a male mentor. There's a lot of networking that goes on in the U.S. And people also don't, it's not uncommon to do favors and not expect anything back. There's a concept of pay it forward. So you're supposed to help people that are younger than you in their journey in the hopes that when they eventually come up, that they'll turn around and help someone else.
Absolutely. And I see this starting to happen in Doha as well. And what's your take on it, Amira? Do you see mentorships happening in Doha? Mentorships.
Yeah, there's a lot actually going on in Doha, and like generally in the Arab world, like you see many changes, especially regarding women's situation. It is not what it used to be like years ago, decades ago. We see leaders, women leaders speaking up for women who don't have voices, and which is very important today. If you are a businesswoman, if you are on social media, if you are on media, it is very important to speak up for those who don't have voice, because there's many women in like countries like, I don't know, Africa, like India, and some parts of the world who cannot raise their voices and deliver the message they want to say and they want to tell. So I strongly believe it's our fight to do, not only for us, but also for them and the generations to come.
So women, all the ladies out here, speak up. So that's one piece of advice we're getting from our panelists. My next question is to you, Farah. Farah, your foundation, Giving Joy, I was really excited reading about it. I believe was the result of your volunteering trip to Ghana. And you use your social media platform to raise educational funds for the refugees and the underprivileged children in college students in Jordan. That's very inspiring. Can you share just one major struggle and one victory that you come across in your journey?
One main struggle that no one believed in me when I started. No one believed that social media has the power to have this fundraising platform. They think social media is just for fashion or blogging or just like the normal things we see. So at the start, it was just a struggle for people to see that I'm a normal woman who has her 9-to-5 job, who loves to travel, who loves to just live normally, and at the same time wants to raise awareness about the refugee crisis in Jordan and about the less fortunate to help them with their education. So that was the struggle for me. And one victory that I succeeded, that Giving Joy is now a foundation, it's an NGO, and we're empowering so many students. So I focus on education in university. So we have doctors, we have engineers, we have so many success stories. So I feel social media is it's such a weapon and it's such a powerful tool, and I used it in the right way for me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Farah. That's very inspirational, trust me. Elmira, my next question is for you. So I love your blog, you know that I'm a fan. And I love how you create authentic content that all of us can relate to, especially your cleaning videos or time that you spend with Max. And I also see that there are a lot of questions and a lot of comments you get from your followers, right? Can you share with us a follower whom you have impacted positively during this journey? Have they ever shared a story with you?
I think 2 days ago I received a message, was very sweet. When I receive such messages, I always, reflect and I feel how responsible I am to be there and, to put whatever out there. And this lovely lady sent me this message that, Elmira, how can I be a perfect wife like you? Receiving this is like, it took me like half a day to just say, I hope I'm really doing something nice out there. And I think my position, of course, is a big responsibility, but I feel people feel comfortable to come and ask such question because they cannot ask this question to their friend or family because of this criticization. And so I told her, I don't know you, I don't know your husband, I don't know how you feel. And then she started to speak up that when she got married, like 10 years ago, she'd been through such difficult phases. Just a year after the marriage, she lost her mother. Next year, lost her father, and she was so neglecting with regard of the marriage and 3 children. And now after 10 years, she's totally lost it. And I told her, just go back in time, and if you feel, as you feeling, your husband is there for you, and he's always supporting you, try to talk to him and tell him, like, I feel you have done so much for me, and now how I can do something for you. And I told her, just take your husband out and try to have this conversation. And she sent me a voice message emotionally that my husband was surprised that, I even came up to have such conversation with her. And this, like, really, really, it's more than making my day, or it makes me to do much more and to be there much more for people.
So I guess
absolutely.
it goes 2 ways, right? As much as you influence the life of your
Yes.
followers, I'm sure you get impacted by their response as well.
It's rewarding.
Yes,
Rewarding is the word.
absolutely. Amira, next question to you. So apart from being a very popular media personality, you're also the vice president of the International Council of Women Entrepreneurs in the Middle East. Authenticity and relatability are key aspects of a successful social media influencing. How do you use your platform to create social awareness about gender equality and women empowerment?
Actually, that's the main thing. How I use my platform is like to spread awareness on important issues, on important topics regarding regional issues, like political issues, whether it's in my country or globally, whether it's gender equality, women's rights. Last year we had fundraising to help women in Palestine, women who had their husbands murdered by the occupation, and who were raising children, of course, without husbands, without any support, without any male support. And you know how important it is to have a male support with you, whether it is financial or even emotional support. So yes, it's also important to spread awareness on social media, especially that the range of people following and getting influenced by people available on social media are usually starting from the age of teenagers, let's say 15, until 45, let's say. So this range of age is very important into building the society of tomorrow, our future. So we try to make sure that we pass to them the right basis of this society. We want to see them strong women, women who go and get it, strong women, women who believe in themselves, women who believe in building the society alongside with men, because we cannot deny the importance of the role of men. We're not equal, but it has to be a certain equation of equity between both of genders.
I love the word equity.
Yes.
So they say with great power, this question is to all of you guys. They say with great power comes great responsibility, right? So having a huge following on social media, you tend to feel powerful because you can make an impact, but you also have to be responsible. So there should be a lot of conscious influencing that we need to embrace. And how do you guys do that? Like, I know it can get really exciting when you have brand collaborations, when you have, because obviously there is also a monetary value behind what you do, and that's important as well, the balance. But how do you actually strike that balance? If you can tell me in one word, take over that, hold on to that power, be responsible, do conscious influencing, as well as make some money out of it. How do you guys do it?
Well, I think, well, it's very difficult because again, when it's money involved, it's tempting, you know, for us as, you know, influencer. But I always think sometimes you need to go 3-4 steps back and say no. Like, I don't do this business, I don't dine in this hotel, I don't dine in this restaurant, I don't use this brand to get something better. And that's just because I love the followers. I love my Insta friends that I call them, because I don't want to just put something out there for them and say, you know, she's just doing it for money. People are smart, and as years passing by, people really realize when it's genuine or when it's just marketing and somebody's just selling a product. So if you really love your audience, you will also love what you're doing, so automatically you will not do anything.
Anyone else wants to add to that?
Yes, so for me, social media goes alongside with my personality. Like, I've been a media figure since maybe 2013, so fame is not new. And social media as well, when it came, social media, it wasn't something new to me. So I use it more as a platform of awareness, of guiding those who needs guidance. And I do receive a lot of messages of people telling me, we saw your path and we saw how you got through your issues and whatever happened in your life, and we really believe in that, and you feel that influence that I have on them. So I am very careful in choosing what and what not to post, especially that I come from an Arabic country, I live in an Arabic country, we have certain restrictions regarding our religion, and I think it's really important to go by those guidelines, because at the end, that's what builds a healthy society, I think. Yeah.
I guess you have to stick to your values as well. Thank you, thank you. Next question is to Nino. Very interesting question.
Uh-oh.
So, you have a significant international exposure in the world of PR. You're like a PR guru. You work for the FIFA, and you've also done a lot of work for Fortune 500 companies. Are there any examples of women breaking through the glass ceiling in the tech that you can share with us?
Yes.
Motivate all the women here.
Yeah, so to the point of the previous panel, I think having role models and increasing the visibility is important. Traditionally in tech, it's usually, you know, women are underrepresented. That we hear that all the time. But some of the most powerful people in tech are women. So there was a company, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of eBay. Well, the CEO was a woman, Meg Whitman. And so she took the company from $5 million in sales to $8,000 million in sales. So that's $8 billion. So that's one example. Another one is YouTube. The head of YouTube is a woman. Yeah, Susan Wachowski. She just retired now. But so she brought an entirely different angle to Google and to YouTube in general by saying, why don't we share revenue with creators? That was her idea. No man ever would have said that. So she came up with the idea, and to date, YouTube has shared $30 billion with creators. So that's another one. Then the next one, another example I'll give you, there's two more, is the woman that was brought in the early days of Facebook. So Facebook was not a profitable company. They brought in this woman named Sheryl Sandberg. She turned it around into profitability within a year. She's been called one of the most influential people on the earth. And now Facebook's revenue is $116 billion per year, which is more than most countries. And the COO, which is what her position was, is responsible for doing all that, while the head of it, Mark Zuckerberg, comes up with all these different ideas. And then the last example is the most recent one. A woman named Mira Muradi is the chief technical officer of a company that you've all heard of and have been using it, hopefully. It's called ChatGPT. And it was her innovation to come up with predicting each word by first ingesting all the knowledge that they ingested, and then saying there's 50,000 words in the English language. Why don't we keep trying to predict what the next one would be based on what we've seen all over the world? And that takes a tremendous amount of computing resources. No one's tried that before beyond just trying to make a sentence. She said, let's keep going and let's see where it takes us. And it turns out the stuff it spits back is coherent. It's amazing. So those are four big examples. So like again, eBay, YouTube, Meta now, and ChatGPT. And I think that the more we know about this, the more we can realize that it's not impossible to do these things.
That's amazing. I mean, I didn't know. So for all the ladies out here, nothing's impossible. And I can't live without ChatGPT now. So who wants to be the next tech entrepreneur? Put your hands up. No one? Guys, after all this motivation. Okay, my next question is to Farah. So what advice do you have for young women and aspiring social media entrepreneurs who aim to make a difference in their communities and beyond?
To believe in themselves. Because I remember myself when I started with my charity work, literally no one believed in me. Everyone had this idea that a person who wants to do charity should be like older or like super religious, or we had this like stereotype. But I believed in my mission, and deep down I knew that I wanted to make a difference and help with whatever I can. So my advice is that believe in yourself. Not many people will like what you do, and others will support what you do. And you should continue with what you want and what you believe in, and just like have a goal and just shut all the noises around you and just go for it. Shoot for the stars.
I think to add to that, Farah, one of the biggest obstacles as women that we face, and why we need to have all these women empowerment conferences, I believe we shouldn't be even having that, because it should be as normal as it for the man. And it's because it's women, it's us who we need to break that barrier, because we don't believe in ourselves. And it could be our upbringing, it could be that things that's been said to us while we are growing up. And I could call a personal experience here, because when I came to Qatar 8 years ago, I went through a divorce, and it was a big struggle for me. So everybody told me, no, you're not going to make it. It's the end of the world. And I had to start from scratch. And the only thing that got me through, guys, I think my sister would vouch for me, was just simply believing in myself and driving all the demons in my heart, saying that, no, you can't do it. You're not never be able to achieve it. And even sitting here and talking to you guys is something that I had to fight the demons in my heart. So the first thing, guys, before we start talking about, how we can ride a war with the men, or, reach bigger heights, and we call, like you said, like find for mentors, I think we have to look for mentors within ourselves. I think that's the biggest challenge for all women out here. Okay, so Elmira, coming back to social media, discrimination and cyberbullying, let's talk about it, it's a big thing. Often manifest online. How can women influencers use their platform to address these issues and provide support and resources to victims? Have you ever been bullied online? And give us some strategies that we can use to handle social media bullying.
Actually, the answer is in the question as you asked. Whenever I receive a message with regard of anything, I always screenshot of that, and I post it and I explain. All my followers or friends say, stop, leave it, just don't talk about it. And I think we need to talk about it, because when someone comes and criticizes you, you need to understand, first of all, is it comes from hate or it comes from love? Sometimes they actually love you, but they cannot admit it, They see something in you that bothers them. They see something in you that they don't have it, and they cannot achieve. And I always show love, actually, towards that, because I know that's nothing to do with me. It's to do with the person. And when I analyze this, a lot of people come with a message that, well, I can relate to that. That, yeah, I'm also thinking like that. I never thought that, we could think this way. So the hate will be always there. but we need to be sure when we put something out there, it's with principle and you know what you're doing and it's part of you. And also, I realize a lot of time that the same person that loves you can hate you. So if you're going to be all the time changing yourself, you will be no one. So the hate's going to be there, the hater will hate, but you have to continue what you're doing. Because they will always criticize you. They will always.
But let's say someone who is not well versed to handle it, what would be the next approach? Let's say they've tried and they cannot manage this.
Yeah, every day I post this, love yourself. And when I say love yourself, it's not like, oh, I love myself. I love what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and I believe in myself. So everyone will love me because I love myself. The moment you're so confident and you love yourself, the people start just seeing that love. And that's it. For me, it's the love. Just give love, and that's it.
Love yourself and give love, guys.
Yes.
So, Amira, can you share with us some impactful campaigns that you participated on diversity, women empowerment, or you wish that you would have participated?
Actually,
You could have.
I spoke about it earlier. The campaign we did, it was in Palestine for women lacking of support, of family support, especially men. But coming back to what you said, that we shouldn't be having this talk, I think it's really important that we should have this talk because it's the rule of life. It's how since we were born, we found that it's a masculine society. It was like that for decades and for years and years. But nowadays, it's getting better. And due to these talks and due to these initiatives, due to you, to her, to him also, to men also, there's men who are defending to them, men who are defending women's rights and who are supporting women. For me, for example, when I started my businesses, it wasn't really easy for me. And even starting in media, because I was in media, but normal media. But when I started in sports media, I got attacked. Why? Because I'm a woman and it's supposed to be only reserved and booked for men. Also, when you start your business, you don't get those encouragements, and you cannot find it easy as a man finds it easy. So what we can do is to keep the struggle, keep believing that we can do it also. But it doesn't mean that we don't need men. We still need men. They are a very important component of society. We both make this society, and we should respect each other's rights. And together we can build a better future, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you. Nino, let's add to what Amira was talking. Why do you believe gender equality is important? And we constantly talk about women empowerment. Would like to get your perspective from the other side. Why do you think women empowerment is a big topic? And what lessons or insights would you share with us, with our audience in a global context?
That's a tough question. Well, obviously, it's a human rights issue. It's a universal issue. It's 50% of the population. Every other person is a woman. When you think about it, it's in terms of companies and the boardrooms and whatnot. We've seen that diversity of thought brings economic opportunity. It unlocks different types of innovations. Just having the same types of people in one room from the same gender is not going to get the best ideas. So I'll leave it at that.
So what do you guys think about, to add to what Nino said, and what Amira said as well, Elmira and Farah, I'd like to get your perspective. We constantly talk about empowering women, and I agree it's a fine balance of not just mixing in both the genders, but also advocating towards it and working together. What do you really have to say from a male's perspective? What do they really feel about women empowerment?
I think they just need to keep doing better, and they need to keep listening, and they need to put the work in. because we tend to keep talking about it, but it needs to be mutual effort from men and women. And I feel men need to be more open. I'm talking about the Middle East, like where I come from. It's a bit, it's becoming better now, but they need to have an open mind, an open heart, that they need to just do better, I guess. Yes.
Can I
Thank
say
you.
one thing?
Yes.
It helps a lot if you use, like, especially when people are younger in their positions, to use data and statistics when making your point, because then no one can argue against the number. I've found that helps a lot.
Okay, what is one key takeaway as important people in the social media landscape that you would give to an aspiring social media influencer? Somebody who wants to not just have a social media page to talk about fashion, beauty, and to promote products, but someone who wants to develop a social media presence for a cause. Can you give us some tips and strategies? Because it's not easy getting on social media and make people believe in your cause, like what you guys were saying. It's difficult. And when a celebrity speaks about it, people tend to listen. Yeah. When a person of power speaks about it, people embrace. But when you're starting off, it's tough, but it's not impossible. Yeah. Can you give us some proven tactics or some strategies that you feel would be pivotal in this journey?
I would say something to be authentic. Nowadays, we feel like everyone is copying each other, and you just see the same content, and people are the same. So my biggest thing is to be authentic, to be yourself, not to be scared to be different. If you have a different message or a different style or a different intake or you have a different opinion, not to be too worried that you have to fit in and you have to be like everyone else. It's okay to be different, it's okay to be authentic, and just be yourself and believe in what you want. That's like my biggest advice.
Amira?
Yeah, I think she's right in what she said. You have to be authentic at some point, but there is some society guidelines that you have to follow in order for you to get famous that quickly, I think, which is usually not very interesting material. It's like, I don't know, it's like fashion makeup, and it's interesting at some point, but it's not like life-changing topics. But you can start with that, and then once you build your base, you can like swift it to your cause, like swift the base to your cause, show them who you really are, what you want to give to this platform, what you want to change, the influence you want to make, and what for you want to make it. And I think people will buy that and will believe you if you're authentic, if you're, of course, honest about what you're saying. Yeah, yes, sure. But just be yourself and be authentic. Inshallah, you will build a good platform.
Thank you, Amira. Elmira?
For me, I always say, remember why you start. Because a lot of people start and they say, it's not giving me any return, I'm not growing, I'm not being noticed. Keep going, and keep going. Another thing that I think is a secret I'm going to share with you, that your insecurities are your most powerful tool. Use them. Yeah. Because people love to find someone that they can relate to. People do not want to see someone perfect every day, or they just open their camera with the perfect clothes. And yeah, I'm here every day perfect. You can be perfect. You know, you can dress up every day. I do that. But I'm also doing some other things. I'm also putting my hair in the bun, and I open my camera and show myself to my audience. It's not that I'm always perfect, they're ready, you know, like a presenter. You know, it's that her job.
We have a different perspective.
Exactly, that's her job. Yeah. That's her job. She has to be perfect all the time, but not an influencer, because people want to be related to that person.
I agree, and they like to see the vulnerable side of these powerful person, because then they can actually relate and see, I'm one of them too. Yes. Nino, we'd like to hear from you.
About what?
About the question that I asked. So what advice would you give an aspiring social media influencer who wants to advocate their cause? What's the best way? I know you're not just having a social media platform, but you also do PR, right?
Yeah,
from a PR perspective.
We like to try to get in as much data as we can to make an informed decision. So we'll use things like, you know, the crystal ball of seeing what people type into Google. Anyone can do it. If you just Google the word keyword research tool, you'll be able to see in which country how many people are searching for different types of phrases, so you can see what's more popular and what's on people's minds. We also do a lot of polling, so we survey people in different countries and ask the kinds of things that we're thinking to see, you know, where is the population, where are people going. And then the third thing are doing what's known as dark ads. So you can run an ad that's not posted on your account on Facebook or Instagram, and then see, are people clicking on it? Are they finding this interesting? And then you can get some of this data together before you decide to go in a specific direction. So this way you have a better chance of hitting the target.
That's interesting because it's not just using your authenticity and vulnerability, but also using actual data to analyze, because I think, yeah, that's interesting. See, that's why we need diverse minds to ring in. Okay, guys, this is my last question. So we are taught, because since this discussion is about women empowerment and diversity, can you give us one tip? It could be something that, okay, so time's up.
Oh.
Time's up.
Okay.
All right. So any closing thoughts? Nino, Elmira? Any closing thoughts?
Any closing quotes? I think we should all believe in ourselves. And like you said, we should fight our own demons because you cannot keep waiting for society to give you support, for anyone else from outside of your self to give you support. You should support yourself, raise up yourself in your weaknesses, in the times you feel vulnerable. That's it. That's the key to success, I think. And yeah, thank you to everyone here. Thank you for the guests.
Thank you. Thank you.